Well, welcome, Nicole, to our session on everything you need to know about submitting a nomination for the Outstanding Business Achievement Awards. And congratulations. So we are going to record today for distribution to other nominees so that if they have any questions, they can just on demand pull up this video and it will help guide them through the process. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll get a good sense then of how to proceed. So you would have received something similar to this, which is the notification that you've been nominated to one of the Outstanding Business Achievement Awards, Sault Ste. Marie, the Difference Makers. And in this case, our test one is for Business of the Year. You will have the opportunity to also sign into the awards website from here. In your nomination email, you would also receive a password, but you can also reset your password by using the Forget My Password link on the login page. And we just want to remind you that the submission deadline is for Tuesday, February the 28th at 11:59 p.m. And to then access the portal, you can either use that link, our website, or you can sign into your account from the bottom here. So we will click on the website here, and that will take you to this page. Can you see the account website page, Nicole?
No.
Okay, so I just have to make sure I go back and reshare. So then you will come to this main page. You can see that now?
Yeah.
It says account or created account. Really just going to be going in on the sign in. And here's where, if you want to change your password, you can use the Forget My Password notification, and that will allow you to reset it. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in. And then for this test case, you'll see in the center there, highlighted in the blue, the Business of the Year Award. And that is the nomination. Oh, we have a new individual joining us. We'll let Katie join us here. Hi, Katie. We just got started. And if you'd like to come off mute and introduce yourself.
Hi there. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. And Katie, we're recording today. I hope you're okay with that. And
that's absolutely fine.
We're going to send that to our other nominees so that they understand the process. So if I can't, I'll just go back quickly. You didn't miss much. But you would have received the email notifying you of your nomination. And I was mentioning to Nicole, you can go ahead and, just read through that descriptor. The deadline is Tuesday, the 28th at 11:59 p.m. You will get a login password as well. And that login password is the same for if you've been nominated for multiple awards. You will only need the one login, and it'll be included in one of the emails that you will receive. If you're 3 awards, you would get 3 emails, but there's only one login that will be provided to you there. And then you can click on this and you can go to the website. So I'm just going to stop the share and go to that website. And you would have gone to the login page. And I can take you back there. It should be able. So this is what you will see. There is the account page, your email address, your password that you would have received. You can go to the Forget My Password and change your password if you like. And then you can sign in, and the screen that you will see will be this here. I'll talk about this, the items on the left-hand side momentarily. But if you click on that, that will then take you to the actual submission page. And this gives you the descriptor. It gives you sort of a, if you have any considerations for COVID that you think are relevant to how you changed your business operations or the impacts, then please mention those. Now, this is a business award, a Business of the Year award. So the questions are actually fairly detailed and cross a broad section of categories. So here you'll see we actually have 3 segments that we're looking at in terms of numbers of employees. And we do that to make sure that we're identifying that, a small business with 1 to 25 employees has different resources than a company that has over 50 employees. We also just ask down here for confirmation of the number of employees, because that will help the judges sort of understand the ability and the resources that are available to the nominee. And that helps them judge sort of the extent of effort, shall we say, it takes to achieve some of the milestones that you'll identify in the submission. So, I've got here, these are, just characters I entered in just to demonstrate that the system does save for you at intervals. But we also recommend that you can highlight and copy all of this and transfer that to a Word document, and then fill the application out like it's in Word, and then copy and paste if you like, and put it into the Awardify platform. The Awardify platform is separate from the Chamber of Commerce's main platform because we've acquired this application to help us facilitate the process. And it does save. You'll see right down here at the very bottom left-hand corner, it says saved at 209:15. So it will save your entries, but it only does it, I think, every 10 seconds. And we all know what can happen with IT. It can crash at any particular time, or your internet can fail. So usually transposing this in through a Word document can be a way of safeguarding your application. So you select, if your category is that, you select the segment for which you're filing the application. You can highlight through the formatting here, bold or italics, and there's other things that you will find here available to you like you would in a Word document. So it's pretty flexible that way. And then you have the opportunity to just go through. There are no word counts in each of these boxes, but also we do recommend that you be as concise and easy to read as possible, because the judges will be going through a number of nomination forms. And then also you do have the option of submitting supplementary materials. So you can upload testimonials, referrals, marketing documents. In the case of we'll look at the Safe Work, Safe Sound one, anything that's pertinent to a specific area of business that's being addressed in the questions. What we do recommend is not to ignore the supplementary materials, because they can actually be a tiebreaker when you get down in through the judging process. If somebody has got no supplementary information versus somebody who has supplementary information, if they're testimonials, that does make a world of difference in terms of scoring out the application. And then if you're submitting this on behalf of somebody else, i.e. you've hired somebody like a grant writer or whatever to do, or a marketing person to do this for you, then you can just add that information, because that gives the judging committee perspective. Then you can send on to the judges. You can go back and edit that application at any time up to Tuesday, the 28th at 11:59 p.m. Past that, you will not be able to edit. It will automatically be then forwarded into the queue for judging. So keep that in mind. Again, watch the save document times. If you're using Word, transfer that over and just give it time to save. And, just as I say, be concise, but really, don't sell yourself short in any of these responses. You really are trying to talk about your business, about yourself, and really promote how you could be a successful recipient of whatever award that you've been nominated for. And just to let you know, even just to be nominated is an awesome thing to have happen, right? I mean, somebody's recognized what you do, what your business does. And, it could be an employee, it could be another stakeholder, it could be a customer, it could be somebody from your supply chain. So it's really awesome that somebody has recognized you in a particular area for being best in class. So I'm just going to go back to the dashboard here. And then just give you an example here, the Safe Work Sound Business Award. As you'll see, basically upfront format is the same, but what you'll see here is an opportunity to upload any files that'll pertinent to the questions that are being asked. So when you look at this, it may say, you know, describe how your safety objectives are established. You may want to attach a file that tells and measures what those objectives are, right? So it demonstrates that only have objectives, you're meeting them, or succeeding or proceeding to achieve them. Workplace roles, you may just have a description here. You don't need to put it all in here. You can put it as a document. And then, you know, again, the same thing in this particular award category. And then you have the ability, again, to put in any supplementary materials like you may have seen in this one. Oh, we just had somebody else join us. You may have seen somebody has received other awards for this, you know, area, and you can upload that information. We're just going to see John here. John, how are you doing, my friend? Oh, we got you on mute still.
I'm well. Hi, Rory. Hi, everybody. Sorry I'm late. I was, just
Not to worry.
procrastinating.
We're just going through that. We'll give you a quick review, John, but also just to let you know we're recording this today, and we'll make sure you get a copy of the link to watch the recording. So I'll just go back here. Once, John, you've received your email, you'll have a link, you'll have your password. That will then take you into our Awardify software. So we've actually
I'm way past this already, Rory. I'm already started to fill out some of the fields last night. Yeah, so you don't have to take so much people's time.
Perfect. So just I just again want to reiterate here, if I can, John, that in some of these awards you'll have at the bottom here supplementary material. We strongly recommend that you add those files in there. It could be testimonials, it can be letters of reference, awards, anything, because those can make a significant difference. Just a great example, if you're tied in terms of the process and one nominee has no supplementary materials and one nominee does, you will find that the supplementary materials will break that tie. So that's just to keep that in mind for sure.
Now, do they have to be specific to the award, or can they be like, in the past few years, I've received letters for support and recognition from various organizations, but to go back and ask them all for a separate letter that outlines, you know, specifically to a Chamber of Commerce award, they're going to say,
John,
okay.
No, John, don't worry about that. We're not looking for the letters specific to the awards. We're looking for those letters of support and recommendation or referrals that are relevant to you on a day-to-day basis of doing business, right? So it's not specific to the award.
Okay.
Yeah. If you think it's relevant, then the judges will review it.
Perfect.
Yeah. So then you've got your dashboard here on the left. And because we are recording this, I'll just want to go through this. If you've been awarded for two, and let's say I think that I really don't my business operations, yes, I do safe work and sound business practices, but I think really where I'm going to shine this year is in the Community Investment Award. So I just go in here. I have to type it in just to give the title again. And then you can add that onto your list. So that will take you to that award. It gives you the description. You can read the questions, evaluate whether this is something that you have. Now, in this one here, you'll see there's two areas. You've got a letter of reference that's being asked for specifically, and then you've got supplementary material. So it may ask you for any files that you think are relevant to the questions that are above it. So just make sure that you're doing your diligence there, and what you're attaching here is relevant to the questions that are being asked. And then thinking about where the supplementary materials may be relevant. So then I can read through that. I may decide, no, that's not really applicable to me either. And then you can just delete that entry quite easily by clicking the X box and then just confirming that you want to do that, and it will delete that from your nomination file. So you've got the ability here to adjust, and we always say that the nominees have the ability to manage their nominations, because the folks that nominate may not understand fully the nature of your business. So you may think you're nominated for one, but it's not necessarily applicable to your business. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't have the opportunity to submit under another category. Now, you can be nominated for 3 awards, but the maximum that you can submit is for 2. So you would need to make a choice. If this list is 5, you're going to have to go through that list and pick only 2 and delete the remaining 3. And then on the far left here, you've got your dashboard. You've got entries, so you can monitor other settings that you think may be relevant. The awards info, if you click on that, that takes you back to our website. But the main thing to keep really on top of is just here, your dashboard and your status. And John, you may have noticed in your submission down at the far left corner here, there is a notification that comes up and tells you when the document has been saved. So I really stress, keep an eye out on that. Or as I mentioned previously, do it in a Word document. You can highlight this stuff and copy and paste it into a Word document and finish the submission there. So once that has saved, it will save everything that you've entered into, into the system here. So I put that in, but I got to keep an eye out. So it just updated. So I'll go back into the system here, and you can see it saved all my A's. And then once you finish that, you submit it. And John, I had mentioned that when you've submitted, even you click the send to the judges, you can still edit the document, but you can edit it only up until Tuesday, February the 29th at 11:59 p.m. So you still have that ability to access and make some tweaks to that. If something pops up and you say, oh, I forgot this, you've got until that time to get it submitted.
That's fabulous. So that means once you submit it, that your information isn't gone to Never Never Land. That you
Correct.
can't, because one of the things that I want to talk to you about, is a lot of, if you're nominated for a couple of awards, it seems like a lot of the information that you're asking overlaps. And I don't know if you want, when you look at outcomes, so outcomes could be the same thing as what you accomplish with your mission and things. So the descriptions seem at times in the questions to overlap, and to have to sit and retype all of those things out with a bit of a different connotation would be forever. I was wondering, can we just paste or some of these questions for accomplishments might also mean what you meet your missions with in a given year. And when you take the time out, to write them all kind of cohesively the first time, then the last thing you want to do is have to do that all again, because it takes you 3 or 4 hours to do all of that.
No, John, we know your time is extremely valuable. So yes, cut and paste. And if you want to wordsmith just in a couple of words why it's relevant to that question, just add that in. But don't reinvent the wheel, because there is overlap between the questions. Most definitely, like business of the year can overlap with, your investment or customer service or any of those.
Or downtown business of the year.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly,
Okay.
John. So yeah, don't reinvent it. If it's relevant, put it in there. And then, maybe just add one sentence to it that says why it's relevant to that particular award.
Right.
So, great point. Thank you, John. Great point. Yes, and that's basically the system. So what I'll do is sort of just explain to you, once you submit it, the process is that we have a group of judges together that they're past award recipients. They are business people, they're stakeholders in our community. I think we have a couple of board members on that. But they're all people who are very, very transparent in their dealings. They are of high integrity. They've all been, I think all of them, yes, all of them have been through this before. So they're familiar with the criteria and what we're looking for. I only facilitated. I have no part of the judging process. We're coordinating them. That's really what we're doing here as a chamber. So then each of the judges will get a certain allocation, and they will review that, and they'll identify if there's any potential conflicts of interest. And we really stress that if it smells like a conflict, make sure you clarify it as a conflict or declare it as a conflict, because most likely you just don't want to run into that situation and put the judge in an uncomfortable situation as well, right? So we make sure we're managing those conflicts. If there's a conflict arising, that judge does not look at that submission, and they are withdrawn from the discussion and the scoring. So they have no indirect or direct impact on the outcome. So we manage that process. They sign a conflict of interest agreement, and they also sign a confidentiality agreement. And they know, because of the caliber of judges we have, they know the implications of what you're sharing, and that some of that information is indeed going to be confidential. So they know that they can't copy it, they can't reproduce it. It resides on our system here at Awardify, and that is only accessed by Don and I from the back end. So we just manage the process. The system is sound. It actually, because now we have this Awardify system, it ensures that the judges are all judging based on exactly the same criteria, exactly the same scoring method. And then, that result is then discussed as a group. And in the discussion piece, if there is a conflict, that person is, again, as I said, withdrawn. So the system, the process is quite managed well, and it is proven out. So any questions?
Yes, I have a question. What exactly do you mean by conflict of interest?
Yeah, so let's say, for example, John, you submit, and one of your board members is on the judging committee. So they would have to declare a conflict of interest because they have a direct impact on the potential results of the judging criteria, right? Because they're already involved in the governance of the operating company. So if it is a family relative, we would say, listen, that is a conflict. Whether you like the relative or you don't like the relative, it can have an impact on the outcome, right? So declare that conflict, or it might be a competitor.
So we're not going to be able to declare the conflict unless we know who's on the judging panel.
No, you don't do it. The judges do it.
Oh, okay.
Not the nominee. This is a conflict of interest that's held the responsibility of the judges.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So they have to declare that. And then we work the process. And it has happened, right? It's happened. It obviously, we're a relatively small community, and it has happened. And those people are more than happy to recognize the conflict, to declare the conflict, and then step away from the process. So generally what we would do, if there is a conflict with one of the nominees, we reassign the whole category to another team of judges.
Okay, thank you.
Katie, Nicole, any questions?
No questions from me. That was really concise. Thank you so much.
Nicole?
I just have sort of maybe one question right now. What's the design credit at the very bottom?
Oh, so that's here. Let me just go to that. So that's really if you've engaged in anybody to put together any graphics or You know, they've done the layout for you. You know, again, it helps us recognize that, you know, sometimes a large organization has the ability to contract out, right? So they may get a graphic designer to do their marketing material and do the submission. So we want to know that they're submitting it on this, tick the box, I'm submitting this on behalf of someone else. And they would identify the company and whom they are, the representative. And then the design credit would be, you know, ABC graphic and design. Just so that we know it's not internally done. Because again, you know, we want to recognize that there's a big difference between the resources of an Algoma Steel and Tomica, right? So we want to make sure that we know, because that will impact, right? You can say, well, the small business has done an amazing job and has almost no resources. And yet you've got a large corporate that has, you know, not unlimited resources, but has a better ability to assign responsibility and dollars to the completion, right? Because that does impact how people view the way the submissions come in.
So then we can just leave it blank.
Correct. Yeah, it is not a mandatory tick box for submission.
Okay, and I just have one more quick one too, I think, folks. You said then if we've been nominated for 3 awards, we can only qualify for 2. So there's no point. So, I mean, you can only put in 2 submissions for review. So it's not like you're going to win 2. You can only put in 2 submissions. So don't bother filling out all 3 of those nomination submissions.
Absolutely, John. So you're going to need to pick the 2 that you want to submit. And then you're going to, so for example, I'll just pick this one here. I'll add it into my list. It's going to show up a little bit differently because I didn't title it. But here we go. So community not-for-profit business of the year. So here I'm submitted. Somebody might have thought I was a not-for-profit, but I'm not. So I say, well, I can't submit. I don't qualify for that one. So you just go over here to the little X box. You delete it. You confirm, and then there's your 2 submissions.
Okay.
So don't touch that 3rd one at all. Just delete it.
Okay.
Pick your priorities.
And if you're a charitable organization, does that still qualify as a non-for-profit?
Correct.
Okay, good.
Yeah. The only difference between a not-for-profit and charitable organization is that the charitable organization can legitimately and legally issue tax receipts. A not-for-profit cannot.
Right.
Yeah. So we're a not-for-profit and we cannot issue tax receipts. A charitable organization is a not-for-profit, but under CRA, they're authorized to issue tax receipts. It's a whole different
process. And in Tomica, we can do tax receipts. Ooh,
yes.
That was a big day for us.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's, any other questions there? No, that's great. Well, folks, thank you very, very much. And again, I just want to reiterate that, yes, it's nice to receive an award, but the nomination is 95% of the recognition that we want to make sure our community is really, really being identified with the nominees as difference makers in the community. So, and it's a lot of fun. So.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining us. And we will be putting the video out that we've just recorded to all the nominees. If you do have any other questions, feel free to reach out to Dawn or myself. You know how to get a hold of us, and we're more than happy to help you out.